Hello friends, I am able to make a bonus episode now because I have the stories of 3 long haulers. So I'm going to put them into one bonus episode here for you today. The first person is KathleenSue. The second person is Karolina. And the third person is Sara. KathleenSue was able to leave a voicemail. It was only about a minute and it got cut off at the end a little bit, but she was able to pack a tremendous amount of information and emotion about her story. It was really touching, and I got an email from Karolina and a text from Sara, and I will be reading those as well. So I really encourage you to send me anything that you can or want to, either by voicemail or text or email. Any of that would be great. And I would love to read your story as well, or to play your voice telling your story, because I think it's just really powerful that we hear each other's stories. Okay, so without further ado, here is KathleenSue, and then Karolina, and then Sara.
This is KathleenSue again. I guess I had only 1 minute, so I'll just tell you that I have long COVID from 2021. I was very, very sick with pneumonia. I lost 40 pounds. I couldn't walk. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I would cry all the time. And I thank God for my husband. He saved my life. I'm probably doing 80% better, but I still have the brain fog, the heavy fatigue. I've developed a tremor through my whole body, and a neurologist told me that he can do nothing for me. So I've seen all kinds of specialists. I've been through all kinds of testing. I've been through COVID clinic. I've been through physical therapy 3 times. It's just so refreshing to be able to talk to someone who knows.
This is an email from Karolina, who's also in her 40s, one of our listeners. This is what she writes. I am not recording a message as I have a brain fog, and today is one of those days when I really cannot manage my thoughts well. I just wanted to tell you how important it is to me to listen to someone vocalizing what I'm going through. The sense of surprise and massive disappointment and sadness coming with each flare-up is unbelievable. It's exactly how you described it. Unlike you, I am still working, as I have not figured out any other option how to organize life without money, and there is nobody here to help me out with that. My job is demanding, especially now, when there are days that it's really hard for me to express myself. It takes me so much longer to finish my tasks, and some of them are just impossible to finish. It puts so much additional stress and pressure that only makes me feel worse. I have not found any real help on my journey of trying to get better. It's been 2 years. Most of the time, I was just gaslighted by the doctors to the extent that I was questioning my own symptoms. In the country where I live, long COVID is not a widely discussed subject, so nobody really understands what I am going through, including my friends, which makes me feel even more isolated and lonely in my experience. What does not help either is the fact that I am trying to not get COVID once more, whereas the world forgot about it already. Nobody understands when I am saying I will not go somewhere, I do not want to be surrounded by crowds, or when I'm asking people whether they are healthy before we meet. It's difficult on so many levels. Anyway, thank you again. I hope we will all be healthy again one day. This is Sara's story that was sent to me via text message. She states, I'm a long hauler 2 years now. It's a long story. My story started in January of 2022. I got COVID. I was sick in bed for 2 weeks, no hospital. Then 6 weeks later, the hell started. I had the worst panic attack I ever had in my life, which later learned was adrenaline dumps. I became very paranoid and anxious. Then I started having blood pressure issues. Up and down blood pressure all over the place, pulse high. Couldn't figure out what was going on. My daughter said people are getting POTS from COVID. Maybe you should see a cardiologist. So I saw a cardiologist who ran tests and said it's anxiety, not POTS. I woke up one day, my chest felt like it was on fire. I went to the emergency room and my potassium was low, so they kept me overnight for observation. Then I started experiencing all kinds of symptoms: depersonalization, paranoia, fear, crying spells, heavy legs and arms, shortness of breath, heaviness in my head, and panic attacks. Waking up at 3 a.m. every morning in panic. Then I started having vertigo so bad I couldn't get out of bed. The room was spinning for 4 months. Then I had lasting 24/7 dizziness for the next year. Then I got COVID again. I couldn't walk. I couldn't hold my bowels or my urine. I collapsed at home, was rushed to the hospital, had an aneurysm on my pancreas and was bleeding internally. I was in critical care for 2 weeks, was sent home, and 5 days later was rushed back vomiting blood. I was hemorrhaging again. They had to run a line through my jugular vein, which is in the neck, to give me blood quickly. My oxygen was 69% and my blood pressure was 69/42. And normal for oxygen is 93 to 100%. Hers was 69. And blood pressure normal is 120/80, and hers was 69/42, so very low, both of them. She continues, they worked to save my life for 9 hours, and I was in trauma for 12 more days. Before COVID, I weighed 164 pounds, and I got down to 98 pounds. I was fighting for my life. I have been home for 18 months now, and still not myself. My symptoms that keep lingering are brain fog and fatigue. The brain fog has been so bad, I was afraid I had dementia. She discusses having a lot of brain fog and extreme fatigue, and she states, I have cried and prayed so much. I have never been through anything like this. It was awful.